Welcome to a fresh episode of Plowtalk, the official podcast of Bain Welker Equipment. I'm your host, Matthew Bain, and today we are talking internships. All right, today we have a bunch of interns, actually, and I'm going to premise this is going to be part one of the 2022 interns, because I don't have enough mics for everybody. There's 7 interns. There's actually 9 altogether, right?
Yeah.
And we have 7 of them here in Plain City, Ohio, and again, just didn't have enough mics. So we're going to have to split it up, but it actually worked out well because I believe we have 4 here with us who are in sales and marketing, technically.
Yep.
Right? So let me hand it over here to Dalen. Earlier I almost called her Dalen Bain, but she is now Dalen Fruits. She's taken, folks. And she is, as far as I understand it, you're kind of heading up this whole thing, aren't you?
I am. The interns are with me for the summer. So I get to enjoy some time with 9 amazing individuals that we have in our internship program this year. So we have 4 different intern categories this year. We have 5 in sales and marketing, and those individuals get to work at 3 stores over the summer and work on selling a parts product. So they select a product, they build the marketing plan behind it, and then they go out and sell that product. So it's really cool to see the development over the summer with their skills in that. And then they work on individual projects as well throughout the summer, doing different things for maybe the sales department or training and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Then we have 2 AFS interns. Those 2 guys are working in our AFS department with like precision farming and the technology. They do a lot of field service calls with our precision farming specialists to solve problems for customers and get a lot of hands-on experience with the technology itself. So that's been a really cool addition. We've had those in the past, but we actually have one for each state. So we have one in Ohio and one in Indiana. So they cover the whole state there. We also have an HR intern. She is helping a lot with our training. She's getting some safety stuff together for us. So that's been really awesome to have some help there. And she's been doing a great job of getting that developed for us. And then we have a sales intern as well. So he is doing the introduction of Coyote in our Plymouth location. So he'll actually be having an event coming up here at the end of July and is working on selling the product and just getting some really good sales experience. Working on distinguishing between Kubota and Coyote. Yes, the oranges can be a little misleading, but they are different.
Yes. So this, as I understand it, is the biggest group of interns yet.
Yes.
9 total interns. How are interns selected? How's that process taking place each year?
We do a lot of recruiting in the fall. So we'll go to at least 5 career fairs, I believe. Purdue, Ohio State are 2 of the big ones, but we'll also go to like Wilmington College. We go over in Illinois, Indiana State. So we go quite a few places. We do recruiting. We do interviews at the career fairs then following, and through that, we go through the selection process, and we really focus to get interns in each area so that we have an intern for 3 stores usually. It'll be 2 stores in Ohio as we go forward, but we really look at the individual too to see, what their interests are and what needs we might have within the company. For instance, in HR, it's maybe not as common of an internship, but it's been really cool to have Gabby with some interest in that field be able to help us develop some things that we can continue on.
Sweet. Well, without any further introduction to the internship itself, let's actually meet the interns. So let's start over here with Sammy. Sammy, can you give me your background in agriculture in general? What led you to even consider going to Bain Welker for an internship this year?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Sammy DeLay. I'm originally from Anderson, Indiana, and I didn't grow up on a farm. I knew nothing about agriculture before I started high school, and then I got very active in my FFA chapter because it was the cool thing to do at my school, which is kind of weird, but it was just the cool thing to do, so I decided to do FFA, and I got really involved in it, liked the public speaking aspect of it, and then slowly started to like, the equipment side of things and learning how things and my food is grown, I think is very important. And then that led me to Purdue to pursue a degree in agricultural communication. So I really like the marketing side of things. It's been interesting to learn the sales side of things as well, but I found out about the Bain Welker internship through some friends of mine that did it, and they really enjoyed it. And it's kind of a sought after internship, I feel like, at Purdue. And so I thought that maybe,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've enjoyed it. Yeah. Right. So, like I said, I didn't come from it, but I'm learning something new every day.
So the FFA thing must have been the corduroy that draws everybody.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. The
just checking. So next up, is it Sydney?
Yes.
Correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Sydney, tell us your background.
Yeah, so my name is Sydney Bordner. I grew up in a small town called Cutler, Indiana, in Carroll County. I grew up on a family farm. My dad farmed around 500 acres growing up, and he also owned his own business. So I kind of saw like the whole agriculture side growing up, getting to ride in the combine with my dad and my grandpa, and just really seeing that through their eyes. So then in high school, I joined FFA. I was really active in that as well, and just learned more about the farming background and just agriculture in general through FFA, which then led me to Purdue, where my dad graduated from Purdue, and then my sister is also at Purdue with me. So I went to Purdue. It was a family tradition, I guess, to go to Purdue. So I went to Purdue, and I am majoring in agribusiness marketing. So I also enjoy the marketing side of things. And I just really enjoy getting to like learn about all the marketing and kind of see it in more of a real world, like real time, instead of like just in a class, that type of thing. But I also learned about the Bain Welker internship through some of my friends who actually interned last year, and they really enjoyed it. And so I thought I would go for it, and
Sweet.
I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome. Good to hear. Emma.
All right. Hi, I'm Emma Burchett. I am going into my last year at The Ohio State University. I'm an agribusiness and applied economics major. So like Sammy, I really didn't have much of an agricultural background. I moved when I was in middle school, and I had some neighbors who raised and showed hogs at our county fair. And so I got into that with them, and at my first county fair, I was introduced to the Junior Fair Board, and I got heavily involved there and with our extension office. So after that, I traveled to 2 National Youth Agri-Science Summits in Washington, D.C., and I did some career workshopping events talking about animal husbandry, floral design, and some different topics out there. And so that kind of led me to Ohio State since I was working with Extension. And since I've been there, I have really learned a lot. And I learned about the internship through one of the techs who went through the tech program, and a couple of other kids at Ohio State who had went through the internship program. So I'm really enjoying being here and getting to learn some new stuff every day just because I didn't come from the industry. So I'm kind of bridging a gap to learn about equipment and a different new side of the industry.
Yeah, it's not very uncommon anymore, it seems, to have a lot more people, not just in FFA, but really in the ag industry.
Yeah.
And we may get into that a little bit in terms of all the opportunities out there. You didn't say the Ohio State. I thought they patented that recently, right? Anyway, we'll go over here to Ryan.
All right, so I'm Ryan Lieberman. Grew up in Riley, Indiana, in Terre Haute on the southern part of the county. Kind of got into ag, had a best friend that they have a family farm called Be an Ag Family Farm, and we played on sports teams growing up and everything. So, when you get to go have a play date with your buddy when you're little, it's like, hey, come out to my farm and ride in the combine. So that was kind of it. And from then on, it was just like every chance I had, I was in a buddy's seat. And then, around as soon as I was old enough to reach the clutch, and it was time to start working ground and everything. So that kind of got me into ag. And so then it just kind of led on. I still work there, whenever I can, come home on the weekends and from Purdue. So then went to Purdue. I'll be a sophomore next year, majoring in ag systems management. Kind of wanted the technology side, but also sales. I love getting out and talking to people and just seeing what we can do for them. And so being able to do both of those things, I think, is very important. Just kind of, all right, I got a technology issue, but if the salesman can fix it rather than having the AFS guy come out, that'd be great. Yeah. So I've seen it from both sides. There's been times like that on the farm where I wish the salesman could fix it, and then, but so yeah, and I heard about the Bain Welker internship. Obviously, there's a Bain Welker in Terre Haute, and been getting parts there forever. But
Mark Minnis?
Yeah, good old Mark. But I'm in Farmhouse at Purdue, and a lot of guys there were like, dude, you got to try it. It's like I felt like I was telling Dale and everyone interviewed for Bane Walker internship.
Wow.
Like
I
it's
did
like
not
30
realize
guys in the house. Like so, I'm just a little freshman walking around like, hey, I got the Bane Walker internship. And now I'm like, yeah, I got it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Yeah. And we'll get back to you in terms of who you are interning under. Primarily, it sounded like the Pepe Myers. You may graduate to that level of calling him Pepe Myers. I don't know if he'll keep that from me. I call him Sir Samuel Pepe Myers. But anyway, that's beside the point. Let's go ahead and Dalen, you said that there were certain projects, right? Does everybody have a kind of a category in terms of whether it's a sales goal or what are those categories, I guess, other than just being in sales and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it really varies each year. So this year Sam and I discussing the internship and how it would work, we really wanted to make sure that we focused on the individual's interests. So we really want to give a broad view of the company and all the different roles, and sales and marketing is the focus, but some people are more interested in marketing, sales, even the technology side. We've had interns focus on service in the past before as well. We can't forget about service, but really we try to find those interests, and we ask the territory sales directors to help in targeting where the intern might be a good fit for different projects. So we identify the projects, identify the intern's interests, and then work with them over the summer to complete those projects. So for example, Sammy has been working, I won't give her whole project away, but she's been working on some like showroom displaying and things like that. So it kind of ties into some of the marketing aspect, but also a really big part since we're working on a couple new locations to work on implementing those planograms into. So.
Sweet. Well, since you mentioned Sammy, let's go back to Sammy here. What are you working on during the summer now?
Yeah. So for, I guess
and you can pull that down if it's more comfortable to, there you go.
There we go. So for my product that I'm selling, it's called a radiator genie, and it's, there are two wand attachments. One attaches to a hose and one attaches to an air compressor. So it's like a kind of 2-in-1 type of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's the product that I've been pushing at my 3 stores. My stores are Winnemac, La Crosse, and Plymouth. So the Northern Territory in Indiana. And then my kind of special project that I'm doing is Winnemac is getting a new store built. Mm-hmm. And so my main project is to create the floor plan for the new store, kind of how things will be merchandised, what fixtures we need, the signage that will be in the store. And I also have a retail background, so it's something that I have done before and something that I enjoy doing as well. And I think our goal is that hopefully this can be a potential foundation for across the stores or somewhat. I know all the stores are so different, so that's difficult, but hopefully it's something like we can start thinking about making each store a little more similar and just more cohesive. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, I've got some questions. I'll come back to you here in a little bit with that. Sydney.
Yeah, so my product that I chose to sell this summer within my territory was bulk oil. So in the past, my territory didn't have very many bulk oil customers. A lot of them buy from Co-Alliance, and that's just where they've always got it from. And we haven't really pushed bulk oil in my territory like they wanted to. So they kind of just said, this is what you need to sell. We really want to push it. We really want to grow this business. So that's what I chose. And it's not the easiest sell because not very many people want to switch. They want to stay loyal to Co-Alliance, but I had one sale. One person switched over, which was
nice.
Pretty big success.
Yeah.
I guess according to Rick was a big success. So, but that was really good. And so I've just kind of been working with my parts managers to get a list of farmers for me to go visit and try to just sell this oil to get them to switch as well. And then the rest of my other projects this summer, since I'm kind of more into the marketing side of things and that's what interests me, we are putting on an application class in Lebanon and then here in Plain City as well. So I've been kind of working on the marketing and like invitations and how we want to get the word out there that we're having this class. So I've been working on that. And then also I'm working on the marketing side for the tracks that we're starting to sell. So
sweet. Yeah, the one customer thing, don't take that lightly.
I
It's
know.
a big deal when you
Yeah.
get, I mean, in ag industry, as everybody knows,
yeah.
if you get one farmer, for instance, coming in, changes a lot.
Yes,
So
it does.
Yeah, it's a business based on loyalty.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So my product that I chose to sell was net wrap and baling twine. So it's been a little bit difficult doing that just because I'm at the Plain City, Utica, and Circleville locations, which are newly acquired to Bain. So we've only had them for about a year. So there's not a huge loyalty to Bain yet in those areas. So I've really been working on building that brand awareness in those areas and trying to sway some customers over. So I had one really big sale up in Northwest Ohio, so that was great to kind of get the ball rolling. And so I've been doing a lot of cold calling and things like that, and I kind of picked that product to bridge the gap between my knowledge in the industry already and kind of bridge it with where I'm going. So I came from a livestock background, so now I'm kind of tying it into equipment, kind of meet in the middle. So my second project I'm kind of working on this summer is the customer event with Michaela Eggleton. So I'll be helping her more with that as the summer
When
goes
is that?
on. That's
Let's
on
just go ahead and
August
market it right
12th.
now.
August 12th.
Okay.
So
There you go. Where at?
It's at Cherry Bed Pheasant Farm down in Wilmington, Ohio.
Nice.
So
All right.
we'll all be down there on August 12th.
Sweet. So that was your last project, or you had another one after that?
Nope, it was just the two as of right
Sweet.
now. I don't have a territory sales director right now, so I've
Yeah.
kind of been bouncing around a little bit to pick up some projects. So
That's got to be an interesting perspective in terms of, like you said, being at a place that was just recently acquired and really the name not being well established yet, right?
Yeah,
And to
it's-
see that process.
it's been interesting, just trying to gauge what the customer demographics here are like, just because I know a lot of the other interns are traveling around with those individuals a lot. So I've kind of been getting out on my own a little bit and trying to get my feet underneath me. So it's definitely been interesting, and it's definitely forced me to learn a lot and kind of think on my feet. So
Cool.
it's been good for a lot of critical thinking skills and learning to build those relationships. I've always been a pretty social person, but to apply it in a new way, it's a whole new ball game. So I've definitely learned a lot that way.
Cool. Right.
Okay. All right. So my first project this summer, I chose to sell a wash bundle. So there's 5 different things within the bundle. I was just cleaning my truck one day, and it was just another day that it was raining in the spring, and I don't know why I was cleaning my truck, but I just did it. I was like, maybe it'll go away, maybe it'll make it stop raining. So I was like, so then we had to, I was brainstorming a project, and I was like, why don't I just sell a bucket bundle, and then because I was like, I'm going to roll it out as soon as everyone's hopefully done planting, maybe get some sales. Sold 17 buckets, not terrible, have 8 more to deliver, so I guess do the math there, but it's been good. Then my second project is technician recruiting. So
That's a big
I
deal.
like to talk to
Yeah.
people, obviously, but brainstorming a plan there, trying to get a plan of attack, I guess, so to speak, and comparing it to other companies, like, what everybody else offers and stuff like that. But also exploring different avenues of where to go to get the name out, whether it's having an event or going into the FFA chapters, I think would be very beneficial. Or, at the career fairs also, maybe someone doesn't like school, or, they want to be a technician. That's just what they're passionate about. So there's a lot of different avenues. We're going to do a video. Sammy likes to videotape and do all that stuff. So we're going to do a video like that. And then kind of along with Sydney, I'm not working on the marketing side, but more the sales side of tracks. So Ty Crone has kind of been like challenged me, I guess, so to speak, to be like, hey, try to sell some tracks. It won't hurt anything. So just get out to the farms. And I know a lot of farmers in the Terre Haute area, but obviously with Wingate and Crawfordsville being in my territory too, it just doesn't. I got a lot of people to meet, and there's a lot of potential there. So just take it wherever we can.
Yeah, you've got a really good guy in Ty Crone to be learning from.
Yeah,
it's
my boy.
I'd be soaking that up quite a bit.
Yeah, that's my boy.
All right, so next thing up on the list is I'd love to hear about maybe some things. Is this about halfway through? Because you guys are done in August, like late August.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
about halfway.
Okay,
Last
cool.
day is the customer event.
Crazy.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha. So that's coming up. So thus far, even though it's not the end of your internship, Sammy, what are some things that you've learned? I do have some questions about the retail side real quick, actually, before you get into that. I just remembered. Have you found it, and maybe this ties into your experience and what you've learned, but even for myself, when I go through any store, really, like for instance, I was at Terre Haute the other day, and they've got the flashlights or whatever, and I was getting some stuff for the kids, but then I just realized how much stuff there is, and I'm curious, do people even see it?
It's very interesting because there's like different rules on, like, usually if it's eye level, people are more likely to see it. So you put like either more expensive things or something that you think that people are going to grab, like stuff like how Ryan's doing the buckets. Sometimes if you put that on a cleaning rack, if someone's coming and getting one thing, they might be like, oh, well, this is, they might spend $40 more to get something just because it's a better, quote unquote, better deal. Yeah. And usually it is like you get a little bit of a discount, and people like to see that. So I would say yes, sometimes. I know some people think that, we run an equipment store, people are coming in to get parts. People aren't coming in to shop, but some people do. And if you can catch someone's eye while they're coming in to pick up a part, then I think that's important. If you make, one sale that's $5 a day, that ends up adding up to a lot of money. Yeah. So I think it's just interesting to, navigate who sees what, and how retail works it's a psychology thing, which is kind of cool.
I think my dad has the best eye for that stuff, because he'll come back and he'll have like 3 like phone things for your air vent in your car. I'm like, where did you get? He's like, oh, it's just in at the store. I'm like, where? Where at the store?
The dealer couldn't pass up.
But so give me some experiences. What have you learned so far? Even if you have certain experiences with certain people that you've learned from, what's your takeaway so far?
Yeah, I would say the main thing that I've learned is that, there are some stupid questions, but there aren't stupid questions. I didn't come from ag, and I still don't know a lot about equipment, but I'm learning something every day. And if I have a question, I'm not afraid to ask the people at Bain Welker, whether I'm riding around with a salesman or I'm working with someone in marketing. I think the more you know, the better, especially when, we're interning, we're trying to learn about these companies that will potentially be working for in the future. So I just think it's important to learn, soak up all you can, and that's what I'm trying to do, is just asking questions. I also I was riding around with Pete Zart in Winnemac, a salesman, and we went around with my radiator genies, and we ended up selling like 6 or 7 in one day. So I think it's just like going out and talking to people is so important in this business. And even like Pete said, he was like, sometimes like once a week I go to almost all my customers and just like say, hey, I'm not even trying to sell them anything. I'm just stopping in to, tell them I care about them or take them to lunch. And I think that's what's important, is just like caring about people genuinely, and not just, trying to make a sale off of them, genuinely wanting to see how they're doing and catching up with them. And
Yeah, especially in agriculture, people can sniff that out pretty quickly if it's just a sale.
Yep.
Some of these guys that have been farming for 50 years, they know when somebody steps on their farm, whether they're full of crap or not. So,
exactly.
So it's pretty hard to get by if you're just wanting to sell. So, Sydney, what are some experiences you've had?
Yeah, so I guess my main one would just be kind of, I've learned that I need to get out of my comfort zone more. I've always been kind of more of a quiet and like shy person.
And until here you are on a podcast.
I know, until I get around people that I'm like comfortable with. Like I always used to talk so much with my family, but now like when I'm around new people, I'm kind of quiet, and like I don't ask as many questions as I probably should. So I'm learning to like step out of that comfort zone and really dive into things more. Especially having to go out and talk to customers and just kind of cold calling in a way. But I've also, a lot of the salesmen have offered to help me and like take me out like with them to go visit customers to try to sell my bulk oil and to try to push that. So I'm really, really thankful for that. So since they already have their relationships, I can kind of just like dive into that a little bit more instead of trying to make those relationships myself. But another big one is relationships are like really big, I feel like, and I know how important those are now and how loyal customers stay, especially like the older farmers who really like have been farming forever, and just that type of thing, and how important relationships are, and seeing the salesmen have those relationships. And
also to your point of the relationships, another aspect of that is, as you guys know, farms are consolidating left and right, like especially since I've been alive, there's I mean, fewer and fewer farmers. So keeping that loyalty, right, is
for
huge.
sure.
So, Emma, anything memorable or noteworthy so far that you've learned?
The biggest things are things that Sydney and Sammy really hit on already. So, getting out of my comfort zone, I was really uncomfortable with cold calling, and that was one of the things I really had to do just because I couldn't piggyback off of some of the relationships that like my TSD had and stuff. So I really had to just dive in and just do it and kind of adjust phone call by phone call. So that's been really good to kind of tweak my conversations a little bit and learn how to build those relationships with customers. So that's been really huge for me. And, like they said, the loyalty is huge. So they hit on a lot of that already, though. So
cool.
just
So
to
a lot of the
piggyback
same
on it,
experience,
a lot of the same experience, and I've done a few different shadows and stuff. So I've done PSSR and I've done some service writing and stuff like that, and I've done one sales ride along so far with Pete down in Georgetown. So yeah, and every department, I mean, it's been heavy on relationships. So it's not just in sales and marketing; it's across the board for the whole company, and in every aspect, it's huge with relationships.
Yeah, awesome, Ryan.
All right, so
You
I've had
gotta
quite
smirk
the
as you start.
experience. I've had quite the experience. If you go from there's a lot of good guys in the territory that I'm in. You work with Jeff Tutterow and Sam Myers one day, and then you go work with Delbert and Brad in Crawfordsville one day.
Oh,
So
yeah.
wide
Legends in their
variety
own
of
right.
people, and then somehow you find Doug Dorton on the golf course. So it's
Have you learned how to coon hunt with Brad yet?
I've
or-
heard stories,
Okay.
but I haven't got the out of work experience with Brad yet. But I'm sure it'll happen sometime.
You may want to avoid that one.
But yeah, so I mean, they're great people, and they all have a lot to bring to the table. And Delbert, grumpy old Delbert, but he really is a great
He's a
guy,
great
and
guy,
he's
yeah.
very intelligent on the game of selling.
I almost killed him once.
Well.
I'll tell you that story later. Total accident.
But so I try to get right along with Sam one day a week. I love going to Wingate, all those guys, Darren, Josh, Caleb Winger, and all those guys. It's just a fun group of people. So I go there and ride along with Sam. We do trade appraisals and stuff like that. And then when I'm in Terre Haute, I'll hang out with Jeff and Nick Griffith a lot and just kind of learn. Obviously, Nick's role is a little different. He doesn't go out on the road as much. He has the general public coming in, but I know a lot of the farmers around there, like I said, so I know it's kind of cool to be like, oh, yeah, well, they got a new combine. Like, oh, I know them, so. But with Ty, being my TSD, everything that Ty does, I do. There's not, from the first day I walked in, he's like, dude, I'm going to be straight up honest with you. 100% of the time, you're going to do everything I do. If I don't like something you're doing, I'll tell you. If you don't like something I'm doing, tell me. So I think that's huge, just 100% honesty, and I mean, it's cut and dry. It's not, there's no lying, none of that.
I thought you were going to say, I'm going to be upfront with you. I don't like you.
Yeah.
So that's going to be hard this summer?
No,
Okay.
we get along quite well, I think. I hope. Heck, I don't know. He ain't told me if he doesn't like me yet, so maybe that 100% cut
I'm
and
sure
dry.
he
is-
does. He's
but-
a great guy.
But yeah, so just to pick their brain, all those guys are very knowledgeable on numerous different things, whether it be golf or selling equipment. So just the experiences that they have given me, I'm really thankful for, because not everybody gets to go talk to the number one salesman in the company every day, or sit with a guy that's sold for 30 years like Delbert. So it's just it's been really good.
Cool. Dalen, what has your experience been? Because this is really your first. Is this your first year heading it up?
Yes,
Right.
I started.
And what do you think of these guys? I want to hear.
Oh my gosh, it's been so
Pressure on.
fun. No, it's been great. I started in April, so it was a very short window. I started April 18th, and the interns onboarded on May 23rd. So I had
very short.
5 weeks to get ready for 9 interns to come on. So it's a little bit stressful at the beginning, a lot of anticipation and a little bit of anxiety behind it. But once we got the interns onboarded, I'm like, okay, I made it through day 1. We're smooth sailing now. So it's been really fun to see them grow and learn. You start off with a room of very quiet individuals that won't hardly talk to you, and you get through the summer and
you'll meet him later.
I love that. Yeah.
Good luck. Suddenly we have hour-long car drives filled with conversation.
yeah. I mean, we've been on the road all week traveling for 8 a.m. to 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's just, conversations. And so getting to, learn about everybody and what their interests are. And it's really cool for me because I was an intern 2 years ago.
Yeah,
So to
I was gonna bring that up. Yep.
Yeah, to be like leading the program is really cool to see the development. There were 5 interns when I was a sales and marketing intern, and now we have 9. So it's crazy to see the growth and just to be able to, help college kids along and try to, find their interests has been, a really great experience to be a part of. So
cool. Yeah, the first podcast we did with interns, I think it was 2019. There were just 3.
Yes.
So
yeah,
it's really, really grown. Bonus round. Last thing. I know I didn't even tell you about this. It's going to be a big
Don't
deal.
make me go first.
And this, I want your straight, honest answer. Don't worry that you're on podcast or anything like that, or what I would think. What is your perception of Bain Welker, just in general? What have you, I don't know, just your experience? What do you think of the company, how it's running? And most importantly, could you actually see yourself here full time? Like, is that something that you truly desire, or more so like, oh, this was a good experience and, I'd probably want to do something else? So we'll start with you, Sammy.
Man, asking the hard-hitting questions. I will say that I thought maybe there would be some issues with, so much family involved in the company, And I know like we're employee owned now, but when you go from, family owned to employee owned, sometimes there can be, stuff happening up top, right?
Yep.
I will say I don't think I haven't seen that much. I know I'm just the intern, but so I don't think I've seen that very much. But I enjoy the marketing side of things, and I've talked to Nettie and Michaela, and they both think there should be some growth in the future in, the marketing department. So that's an area where I think they may be, needing another hand in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to work here. I've enjoyed my time rolling around with salesmen, with marketing, with, I try to do try to dabble in a little bit of everything. So yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Cool.
And I'm ready for the rest of the summer. I can't believe we're halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gone that fast, right?
Right.
Sydney?
Yeah, so I guess when I came in, I didn't know kind of what to expect with the company. Kind of like Sammy, I just didn't really know. But like the more that I've been here and like the longer that I've been here this summer, I really like how it's like a family atmosphere. Like at each store, like everybody's so close, like such a close knit like group that like it's just kind of like a family. Like you're just walking into work. It's work every day, but it's not like, it's more fun. Like you get to like almost hang out with people that you're friends with, but like still work at the same time. So I really enjoyed that, and I'm like really glad to see that it's more of a family instead of more of a corporate type of company. But yeah, I mean, I still have 2 years in college left, so I feel like I'm still a little bit young, but I could definitely see myself coming back someday after college in 2 years and working here. But I really enjoy the family aspect and just kind of how close everybody is and how everybody knows each other's names. And I'm really bad with names, so I'm still learning, but I've gotten better.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I was actually curious if any of you would bring that up, because it's, I mean, when I was growing up, I remember Wingate, and I remember when we got Crawfordsville, and then I remember when we got Lebanon, and it was kind of that way for a little while. And now to see it at 15 stores, and like what you brought up, Sammy, to go from family owned to ESOP, big changes. But it's really cool to hear that it still has that family feel to it at each individual location. And not just from you guys, I've heard from employees at each location that they still kind of feel that way. So that's pretty neat that as big as it is, it's maintained that feel. So Emma?
Yeah, very straight to the point. I would love to work for Bain. Coming here, I have been provided so much flexibility, and I've been able to have a great work-life balance. I know I've had to dip a lot of days for like different doctor's appointments and things like that, and so having that balance between my work life and my personal life has been great. So even though I've had to take that time, when I am here, I am learning so much, and so the opportunities are there regardless, and I feel supported in every aspect of my life. And like they said, it's a true family aspect. So I walk into every single one of my stores, and I feel welcome with open arms, and it's a feeling that you don't find a lot of places. So it's really appreciated on my end. And I was a little nervous about that at first because I'm working in stores that are newly acquired. So coming in, I didn't really know what that was going to be like, if they had truly adopted Bain's values yet, coming from being like Evolution Ag stores. So to come in here and see, they really did follow through with that and adopt those values and things, that was really cool to see, because it just shows that, they're doing something right and that it means something to people.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so they all kind of hit the nail on the head there. But I would say definitely with the experiences I've been given, it's kind of, as I told Ty the other day, it's just guys being dudes. It's all it is. Like, I
like that. That's probably the quote of the podcast.
There's
just guys being dudes.
There's movie quotes flying everywhere.
Can I be a dude too?
I'm just saying, like, it's a tight-knit group. Like, even the territory, you'll be in Terre Haute and someone's on the phone with Sam, or someone's on the phone with Josh Rader in parts. And, he was one that was a great help to me from right off the bat. Josh was just like, hey, man, let's get this product rolling. Let's get it going. But it's like that everywhere. Everywhere you go, Crawfordsville, Wingate, Terre Haute. I mean, I rode around with Cody Kinney in Pendleton. We rode in the truck for 3 hours, and I felt like I knew everything about it. I mean, it was just like nonstop conversation. So with that, Zach will tell you I'm just a little guy. So I got 3 more years of college left. So Ty and I were talking. It's like, he was like, you know what? He said, this is a great opportunity. He said, if the opportunity were to present itself for you to come back, he said, I want you to realize now's the time to try everything. If there's an opportunity that presents itself that you think, all right, maybe once in my life, I want to try that out. He said, now's the time. But yeah, it's a great company. I've enjoyed it, everything about it. It's been great. So yeah, I would love to come back if the opportunity was there. But just overall, it's been a great experience.
Yeah. Awesome.
I feel like I need to add a little bit. With us traveling this week, I know we all talked about like how welcoming our own stores have been, but when we're traveling with a group of about 10 of us, I feel like every single store has welcomed every single one of us with open arms. And, even though they're not people we're working with on a day-to-day basis, when we walk in those stores, they're excited to see us and, they want to learn our stories. And so, again, that's really unique to this company, and it's something really special. And it's great to see that, the relationships aren't just being built between, us as a company and customers. Like, it's being built within the company. So it's something we're truly built on.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, if you want to change that, just carry one of these cameras into the store, and then you'll see I welcome. No, everybody's been great that I've seen. I get teased, of course, with the cameras, but that's awesome. Yeah, I could continue to hear that from, again, even with people who have maybe been at Bain Welker for a short time, full-time employees. Just like what you guys said, that it's really welcoming. Everybody's a family. There's a lot of relationship, and I think that just comes back to it being the kind of the nature of the business, agriculture industry is just naturally a relationship business. So, any last thoughts, Dalen? Put you on the spot.
I know, very much so. No, it's just been a great summer. I'm excited to see, what they do the rest of the summer, and then we jump right into career fairs in the fall, and we'll get rolling again for next year. So
awesome. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Plowtalk. Look for part 2 of the intern interviews. I don't know if we call it interviews, podcast. And do check out bain-welker.com. You can find the locations tab there to find a location near you, and give us a call. Come into the store anytime, and we would be happy to serve you however we can. So until next time, farmers out there, keep on farming, businessmen, keep on working, and when we come back around, keep on plowing. Thanks.